So this is huge. So this is going to be a two-part video, okay? Later on, I'm going to talk about my thoughts, my opinions on the acquisition as a whole. But first, I want to talk about 5 different things that Microsoft could be doing now. Now that they're wielding so much power, so many different brands, all these new possibilities that Microsoft has now. And we're going to jump right into it. Here are 2 scenarios, okay? What Microsoft could be doing with Call of Duty, because I think it is the biggest IP that Activision has. For example, Warzone could stay on PlayStation. Okay, so that they get Warzone, but the annual releases of Call of Duty happen only on Xbox. Because if you want to get people to buy your hardware, your box, and destroy the competition at the same time, then that is the way forward. Okay, all these casual, like millions of casual Call of Duty players who pretty much buy these consoles mainly to play their Call of Duty game would be forced to come over to Xbox and play the game there, because at least the annual release is not on PlayStation. However, it has to be said that in terms of popularity, the multiplayer and the single player part of the game have been in decline for years, okay? Warzone is Call of Duty at this point. Of course, you can make the point that they are making crazy amounts of money by bringing Call of Duty over to PlayStation, and they wouldn't probably give up on that so easily. But if you think about it in the bigger picture, it will drag all these people over to their box, and they're all going to buy their box, so they're going to increase hardware sales drastically. At least that would be the strategy. So it's a possibility. Okay, I'm not saying this is going to happen, because there are other possibilities as well. Like, for example, Call of Duty and Overwatch, like the big brands, could stay multi-platform, right? So they would remain on PlayStation. But the lesser known IPs, like for example, Soldier of Fortune, Singularity, maybe a prototype reboot, these kinds of games all become exclusive to Xbox. And with that, they are harnessing a lot of the power that Activision, all these Activision studios bring to the table, and just create another small universe of games. A bit like Bethesda does as well, right? They have all these brands. It's going to be an attachment to the Xbox brands to have those exclusives, or many of those games. And now Activision brands as well, creating another small bubble of exclusives, like its own universe of games that just doesn't come to PlayStation. So that's another scenario, that they keep cashing in on the big ones, but all the newer brands, all the reboots, all this kind of stuff will all become exclusive. And in regards to exclusivity, when it comes to PlayStation and Xbox, Microsoft has already released a statement via Bloomberg, and it reads, Microsoft plans to keep making some of Activision's games for PlayStation consoles, but will also keep some content exclusive to Xbox. Well, that says absolutely nothing. All I can say is that some of Activision's games come for PlayStation. Doesn't sound like a lot. I don't know, man. It just doesn't sound like a lot. I mean, they wouldn't make a purchase like that if they wouldn't then afterwards like harvest the full benefits of owning all these IPs. They could also, on that note, revive a lot of older IPs. I already mentioned like Prototype and a few other games, like a reboot for Prototype. But there's also brands like that I'm very nostalgic about, you know, Soldier of Fortune.
Call 911.
Hexen. I grew up with Hexen, like that was a great game when I was a kid. Doesn't look like a game for kids, but I loved it. And one of the reasons why that didn't happen in the past so much is because Activision puts all their studios on Call of Duty. You remember Vicarious Games, I think they're called? They made the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 remaster. Did a great job. The game was well received. As a result and as a reward, Activision said, well done, guys. Good game. You're on Call of Duty now. Okay, so they're also going to be working. Everyone just works on Call of Duty. So I can imagine that Microsoft breaks that up a little bit, right? And they are diversifying a little bit more of the focus away from Call of Duty and towards all these other games, all these IPs, all these reboots. But that also means that potentially there will be less Call of Duty, okay? So I could totally see like a 2-year release cycle instead of a 1-year release cycle, which would be good, right? They could, for example, say, you know, just Treyarch and Infinity Ward, those are the Call of Duty studios. Okay, I think Sledgehammer did a fair job with Vanguard. I quite enjoy the game, I might be unpopular, but I feel it's their best game so far that they did. But focus the Call of Duty development on those 2 studios, and the rest focuses on other brands. Okay, so less Call of Duty, 2-year cycle, but in return you get more smaller brands. Another point or strategic move that Microsoft could do and probably will do is combine the Xbox Store with Battle.net. And it would create an even bigger counterpart to Steam. Just make it the Xbox launcher, remove Battle.net altogether, and we have one less launcher. People are going to be happy. More games on the platform, puts a competitor towards Steam and also to Epic to an extent. I mean, who's really on Epic? Let's be honest. People just click free games there. Or alternatively, what is also a possibility is that Microsoft brings Activision games to Steam, that they're actually embracing it, quite the opposite route, that they're saying we're not a competitor, we want to reach everybody, so we're bringing all or big amounts of our games to Steam. That would be something I would really love, okay, because obviously I'm PC, I'm a Steam user, and I don't mind the Xbox store. I mean, it's great for Game Pass and all that, but I would love to have all the Activision games, all the Call of Duties back on Steam. That would be great. Imagine World of Warcraft being on Steam, Overwatch, these kinds of games, right? All coming over to Steam. It would be huge. They would sell a lot of more copies. So I think ultimately that's probably gonna happen. Also, this means we're gonna get even more insane deals on Game Pass. Okay, like Sekiro could potentially come to Game Pass. A lot of people are freaking out about that game. Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, Overwatch, all these games could now also be on Game Pass. So also Game Pass just got a lot more interesting, okay, and valuable. And last but not least, looking forward, I think what Microsoft will be doing next is probably buy Valve at some point in the near future. Because keep in mind, Gabe is old, okay? I mean, God protect Gaben, okay? I'm not saying anything in that direction, but at some point he will retire, okay? And he will move back into his little white cloud of goodness and he will sit up there with all his money. But at that point, Valve is kind of up for grabs. I mean, he probably will name a predecessor or something, but that could be the next move for Microsoft, acquire Valve, acquire Steam, and then you could wield the ultimate power. You could combine the Xbox store, which now already includes Bethesda Net and Blizzard's Battle.net, and you combine it into one big Steam store that has all the games and that has Game Pass and all the things we have always dreamt about. Or they could buy Ubisoft. That's another alternative potential route, because Ubisoft is a mess as well, okay? They also had allegations the games they are releasing are just not good anymore. It's a complete mess. However, Ubisoft has, I think, around 20,000 employees, which is insane. So Microsoft could roll in there as well and drag out Yves Guillemot and like punching his face, dragging him out the door and be like, no, we don't want any of this. But it needs cleaning up, okay? Ubisoft needs cleaning up, so potentially Microsoft could do that next. And as much as it would be a good move for Ubisoft, probably that would happen to them, just for us as gamers, because we would get better game. I think it is a good move for Activision as well. Company has become a cesspool. We spoke about it extensively on this channel. I'll link my breakdowns of the whole scandals and the Bobby Kotick scandal, everything down in the description, so you can go check that out yourself if you don't know what I'm talking about. It's nasty, okay? It's nasty stuff. So a lot of people are hoping that finally Bobby Kotick will be fired. I've got bad news for you. IGN already reports that Kotick will stay until his contract runs out. But this story is actually way more interesting, the whole Bobby Kotick part of this, because Jason Schreier released some fascinating behind-the-scenes info on the acquisition on Twitter. And in that it says, Kotick initially didn't want to sell, according to another person familiar with the talks. And also put the word out to see if any other company would outbid Microsoft. But at that point, Kotick had little leverage with his board amid the ongoing public scrutiny at his company. So Kotick screwed up, right? He messed the reputation and the stock and everything of this company up so bad. So he probably went to the board and they were like, Bobby, you have to go. And he's like, no, guys, come on. I want to go at my own terms. Just do me a favor. Let me stay until the contract runs out and then I'm leaving. I'm blah, blah, blah. Just like Jason Schreier says here as well, Bobby Kotick has always cared deeply about appearances. I imagine it was tremendously important to him that he appears to be leaving on his own terms. He wasn't pushed out. Activision's issues had nothing to do with the sale. He just felt like it was the time now, right? And there's this little quote, like a takeout from an interview between Kotick and GameBeat that Schreier shares as well. It is so interesting, right? Because in this, and you can read it yourself, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but basically Kotick blames his own employees for not releasing Overwatch 2 or finishing Overwatch 2 at Diablo 4 on time. And because Call of Duty had a bad year, that's why the stock price fell, okay? He's like, no, what do you mean? What scandal? What are you talking about? Didn't you see Overwatch 2 was delayed? That's why the stock is falling like crazy. It has nothing to do with any scandal. It's just so deranged, right? This guy lives in a different reality. And in regards to Sony and PlayStation, it's a brutal hit for them, okay? It's not good. Now Microsoft owns Bethesda, right? They already have that massive brand cloud, and now all the Activision stuff. It's a hard hit for that company. And I could totally see them, for example, now showing interest in Take-Two. Maybe they scrape together all the money that they have and they buy Take-Two just to stay in the game so they have the next GTA exclusive or something like that. It puts them in a bad position. But I mean, in the end, it all really depends on what exclusive policy Microsoft is going to put down for the Blizzard games, but also for the Bethesda games, for the whole catalog. It does put Microsoft in an insane pole position, in a monopole position. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. It puts them in a crazy monopole position over so many games, so many brand IPs. And I find it funny and kind of ironic that Sony was the company that invented the idea of exclusive games to sell your console, and they thought they perfected it with all their Naughty Dog games and Spider-Mans and Uncharted and all the games that people really want, which are loads of them actually are now on PC. And now they get beaten at their own game, right, by Microsoft. Sure, you can say, well, Microsoft just throws money at it. They buy all these studios, they buy all these IPs. What can Sony do? Yeah, that's right. What can they do? But they invented the game, all right? They said, ultimately, we want exclusive games. You come to our console for all these great exclusive games. Well, now people come for exclusive games to their competition. And I'm not sure they're happy about that. But it remains exciting, okay? It's an exciting time to be in video games, and we will see where this leads. All this stuff that I talk about in this video obviously is just speculation and observation, so take it all with a grain of salt, but I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are on this, all right? Do you think this is a good move for Activision? Do you think it's a good move for Microsoft? Or what kind of brands would you like to see revived? What kind of classic Activision games would you like to see come back in form of a reboot? Leave all that down in the comment section below. Any thoughts? I'd appreciate them. I read all the comments and I try to reply to as many as I can. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. Take care of yourselves. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you in the next one. I'm out. Bye.